future events, mysterious, faint and unclear, like a fog. Yet, in the mist is often a clearing.
Thou, O King, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. His breast and arms of silver, thighs of brass, legs of iron. Thou sawest till that a stone cut out without hands. This is the dream, and I will tell the interpretation thereof.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Everything's just going to keep going as normal.
A lot of wars. We can't even begin to think about the increase in technology.
Cashless society with
Lots of problems.
a new world order.
You know, certain things like ozone and overpopulation, that type of stuff.
What about you? Do you think there's any truth to the warnings of the modern-day prophets of doom? Is the world really teetering on the brink of catastrophe?
Could indeed a comet or meteor collide with Earth and obliterate life on our planet? Will unparalleled natural disasters such as catastrophic earthquakes or floods destroy entire cities or countries? Will a breakdown in our computer system cause an abrupt ending to civilization as we know it? Or will mankind simply destroy itself?
While earth-shattering meteors and invading alien armies can be brushed aside as the stuff of Hollywood movies, many of the events reported on the evening news are cause for genuine concern.
Ethnic cleansing, new wars, kids killing kids, countries on the verge of economic collapse, breakthroughs in cloning and genetic engineering, new killer diseases with no known cures, widespread destruction and loss of life caused by radically changing weather patterns, rises in domestic and international terrorism, to name a few.
And where is technology headed? Will the microchip solve the world's problems and give everyone more time to enjoy life? Or is it preparing the way for an all-seeing, all-knowing Big Brother state?
And while the internet promises to make life easier by connecting you with millions of people the world over, could it be the undoing of your family and privacy? According to surveys, nearly 6 in 10 Americans believe the world will come to an end or be destroyed sometime in the future. 49% believe there will be an antichrist, and 44% believe there will be a final Battle of Armageddon.
Will there be an Armageddon? According to Bible prophecy, yes, but not yet. Some earth-shaking events need to happen first, events that are detailed in the prophetic scriptures of the Old and New Testament.
Amazingly, out of the 66 books in the Bible that comprise the Jewish Old and the Christian New Testaments, 18 are devoted entirely to prophecy or foretelling of specific future events, and almost every other book contains significant prophecies of some sort.
Israel, the land of prophecy. More prophets have walked this dusty, narrow strip of land that averages just 50 miles wide and 250 miles long than any other place on earth. Jewish prophets have foretold in incredible detail not only the history of their own people, but the rise and fall of empires, as well as the ultimate destiny of mankind.
One of the simplest of the prophet Daniel's prophecies is his interpretation of King Nebuchadnezzar's dream. It is one of the most amazing prophecies ever given to man. The king's dream was of a great image with a head of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Then a stone, cut out without hands, smote the image on its feet. The image crumbled into dust and was blown away by the wind. But the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
In this amazing vision, each of the different parts of the image symbolizes a different empire that God foretold would rule the world. Daniel himself told King Nebuchadnezzar,
You are this head of gold.
Babylon was known as the Golden City in ancient times, and like the head, the Babylonians were great thinkers, knowing astronomy, astrology, and science. Just as the image had two arms, the next world empire was an alliance of the Medes and the Persians, who conquered Babylon in 538 BC. They were very clever with their hands, being experts at handicrafts and with building. The Medo-Persian Empire was conquered in 333 BC by Greece, who God likened to the belly of the image. The people of the Greek Empire were known to be hedonistic pleasure seekers, symbolized here by the belly or the desires of the flesh. Rome was the next world empire, symbolized by the image's two legs of iron. Rome was the strongest of the world empires, ruling the world with an iron fist. Like two legs, it was divided into an Eastern and Western empire. Also like a pair of legs, the Romans were great on marching. The legs are the longest part of the image, and of all the world's empires, Rome ruled the longest, for nearly 1,000 years. Since Rome, the world has been divided into various other empires, but none strong enough to rule the whole known world of its time.
And what about the stone that was cut out of the mountain without hands and smote the image on the feet, smashing it to pieces? The prophecies of Daniel may seem somewhat complicated, but it is very significant that we can understand them at all, because God himself told Daniel,
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. For the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end.
But the book of Daniel today is a little bit more clear. First, because of the establishment of Israel, I believe. Secondly, because several things have happened already in the history that Daniel predicted and happened. Some of it had to do with the vision of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar have seen, with the different, main powers that will control the earth and what will happen. As we follow that study carefully, we can see very clearly the description of the Persian Empire, then the Greek Empire, then the Roman Empire, and then a situation as we have today, a clay mixed with iron, things that are, not very clear as they used to be in the past, which we have in our modern democratic society. And so when you follow that, you can follow a little bit the book and see the fulfillment of some of the prophetic words. So it's not as sealed as it used to be. I do believe there are certain things that's still hidden from our eyes that Daniel talks about, and a good study, a thorough study, will open it up before those who really study it, along with the book of Revelation.
So do we have an idea of what the feet and the 10 toes spoken of by Daniel the prophet symbolize? Many Bible scholars agree on a particularly striking interpretation of this part of the image, much of which also has to do with Israel and its future history. But before we delve into the prophecies of the future, let's look at fulfilled prophecy to see how God communicates through prophetic language. It could be said that both the Jewish and the Arab races were conceived in prophecy. God told Abraham, the father of both races, to get out of the country of Haran to a land that he would show him. Scripture tells us that Abraham obeyed and went out, not knowing whither he went. God promised Abraham, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore.